moving on to the next speaker, we're going again virtual, and we have Signify, one of our sponsors. We have Mario Giordano. He's live in Milan, and he's virtual in Milan, and he's going to talk about brighter lives and a better world. Mario is the marketing director for Greece and Israel. Mario, are you with us? Can you hear us?
Yes, loud and clear. Hi, everybody.
Great, great. We can hear you loud and clear. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for this session. I think that I can say that despite the difficult situation, it's still a pleasure that we can have this virtual session. I had when I joined Signify in Greece and Israel, I've been working for Signify for approximately 5 years, but almost 1 year that I joined Signify in Greece. I had two things in mind. The first one was to join the Sustainability Forum, because I heard that it was an important forum, an important arena to be in. And the second, that was more a promise, a personal commitment, was to start this in Greek. Unfortunately, due to the COVID, due to the pandemic, my Greek is not good enough, not where it should be. So I apologize. I'm here, so I achieved the first commitment. For the second, I take the benefit of the next year, being there the next year, to be there in person and maybe try to show off my my Greek skills. I hope that you can see the presentation, that any kind of technical issue. I guess you can see the presentation in on your screen, just a confirmation from your side. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, Mario.
Okay.
Everything's good.
Thank you very much. So we said, brother, in 2016, we launched this sustainability program, quite ambitious in the name, because we had in mind to fulfill our purpose as a company. The second was to address the global challenges, and the third was, lead the way towards more sustainable future, so influence somehow a sustainable future. We started this program because the target always ambition to set the bar, and I'm happy that it was for today. And in September, we announced that we are carbon neutral. Carbon of our operation. This is amazing, I would say, achievement for a company, but I'm not going to say if or we achieved this. Is not my aim today to celebrate this together with you only. My aim today is to try to influence, because one of the purpose of Brighter Lives, Better World is to deliver something, so to achieve the commitment, but also to try to influence the business environment, the other organization. And this is what I'm trying to do. Everything started in, as I mentioned, approximately five years ago, but we have already with Brighter Lives, Better World, but everything started even earlier, because in 2010 we start cutting our operational footprint by 70%. What I'm trying to do today is try to give you some kind of elements, some kind of sharing experience, in order to understand how it was possible to achieve the 2020, instead of just celebrating the result and that's it. So as I mentioned, we started in 2010, cutting the operation by 70%. And then we also did some kind of activities in the market in which we are present. We are present in more than 74 countries in order to give the direction to each single country to become carbon neutral by 2020 as well. In this 5 years from 2015, what we did actually as a result is imagine that you can even cut out from cut off the road 250,000 cars for 1 year. So with all this effort, with all these activities, you have managed to cut this 250,000 cars off the road. And I use here a quote that's this is a fact. This is something that is it's visible. In many cases, when we need to influence somebody, to share to somebody in the right direction, I use this quote from of Netscape. It was used to say, if you have data, let's have a look at the data. If what you have is opinion, then let's go with mine. So I'm not going to share are related to what we put in place in order to achieve the carbon neutrality in 2020. So we look at each single tile, each single element of our environment, of our business ecosystem, and we try to put in place activities in order to reduce as much as possible the emissions. For example, in factories, we optimize the lighting. That's quite an easy thing for a company which is manufacturing and working in innovation in the lighting environment. We optimize also the HVAC. So this is quite something that you can do starting from today or maybe from tomorrow. We also put in place a program within each single factory to improve the process, just to reduce the waste, or to improve the efficiency and the efficacy of the program, of the process itself. I'm talking about manufacturing process, of course. And then this was a decision. This was like a non-off decision. We switched for all our factories to 100% renewable electricity. So if somebody asks me, say, Mario, what should I do if I'm a company more or less like you, of your size, of your with the same structure, what should I do to achieve the carbon neutrality? That's of course the first element that you should consider in your plan. Yes, because you need a plan. You need to clearly design a plan where each single element of your company is involved and the people are involved as well. Because also carbon neutrality means that you also need to look at your non-industrial location. So offices or branch offices that you have across the globe. In those locations, we optimize the space utilization with a new layout. So we implement it. We roll out a new layout for our offices where nobody has his own office, nobody has his own desk. So we can really optimize the space everywhere in the world. And also we invested a lot in automated building processes. I'm talking about air conditioning, but also improving the way in which you book and reserve meeting rooms, because there's no need to reserve a meeting rooms for 20 people if there are just a couple of people in the room. And then it was the time for the never there is continuous approaching, but it's only if you look at your end-to-end process and try to forecast components, the factory capacity, the air freight or air shipments, which are of course costly, but also the CO2 emission of air shipments is much higher compared to other kind of transportation methodologies. So forecasting, so in order to improve to reach the carbon neutrality also for our logistics, what we did was to improve the forecasting process all around the world. This was a huge project and a huge achievement for us. And then the fourth element of this ecosystem is also looking at business travel. Of course, now we are in a COVID measures, and the business travels are really low, never been so low in the past. But what we learned even before this is that you can avoid a lot of unnecessary travels, or you can reduce the number of people that need to travel from one place to another in the world. And then also we touched and we upgraded and updated our company car fleets with electric or hybrid vehicles. So in a nutshell, if you want to have a look, if you ask me how to achieve the carbon neutrality, how I can start influencing and sharing my experience as a company in achieving the carbon neutrality in 2020, you need to put in place a lot of actions in parallel and also cross action in order to be sure that your entire ecosystem embrace this change. It's part of this change. Examples to make it clear that it's possible. It's urgent, but it's also possible. Renewable electricity. It's something that you can do from now. You need a roadmap, you need a plan, because you need to have purchase agreements. Sorry, you need to have purchase agreements in place. You can invest also in green tariffs and in renewable electricity certificates. What you can see here, it's, I would say, our path, our journey, starting from 2015, and now we reach the 100% use of renewable electricity. This is something that we did investing. For example, we made two major investments. One was in the US, was in Texas, and serving all the factories and the manufacturing facilities that we have in North America. And the other one was a huge one in Poland in order to support the European factories. So this is something, again, I would stress this point, that you can do from tomorrow. And a products system, and we also deliver services. There are some kind of unavoidable emissions. There are something that you cannot simply cut from your structure, from your system. And in this case, we decided to prevent an equal amount of emission, investing in projects with environmental and societal benefit, because this is another way in which you can adjust, I would say, the balance of what you are doing. Together with this, we thought that having also involving and engaging all the employees, all the Signify people in this transformation was fundamental. And thanks to a group of volunteers and a group of people that really embraced this program, we have also put in place the first big investments in India in order to deliver off-grid solar power to rural area. Because if there is something that you can do, is also to support the places that are not using or not yet using the grid, or that are not yet there in terms of carbon emission, so you can prevent that they join this CO2 emission journey, and simply anticipating with a better source of energy. And this is what we did in India, and we have a lot of things that we will share in the future that we are doing in this moment to prevent, again, CO2 emission in the world. Okay, that's what we did. In the last 5 years, I would say even 10, because everything started in 2010. Last 5 years, the work program will this is in place and achieve the carbon. But now we celebrate and sustainability, continuous improvement flow. You can never solve. People work on it. Same which is the 2025. So actually we set the bar for a new program for the next 5 years, where the key word is double. Double means that we want to, as a company, we want to double our positive impact, and especially we set our target in 4 main areas. The first one is to double the piece of the Paris Agreement. The second is to invest in order to increase our circular revenues, so coming from circular economy. The third is related to brighter lives revenue. We want to reach the 32% also in this. And the fourth is more related to people, where we want to increase the percentage of women in our leadership. As you can see, this is not a traditional sustainability program, because this is a sustainability program that uses also you are comfortable and aware of what we are talking about, but I still see us outside of the sustainability community, or people somehow interested personally or professional in sustainability. I see a lot of lack of knowledge related to the Sustainable Development Goals, which is not a national or a European target. This is a global program that requires a clear understanding by all the different people working in the business environment. So what we decide to do, having the United Nations Sustainability Program as a compass, as a guideline for us, we decided to identify, we have identified 2 main elements. The first is to tackle. The first is the climate change and resource scarcity. And this is something that is really in our brain and in our heart. And the second is the demographic change and urbanization. So this is something that we observe. And one of the privilege of being a player in the lighting business is that the lighting is everywhere. So actually, this is something that I realized when I joined a lighting company. Lighting is really everywhere, in your business life, in your professional life, everywhere you go, in the streets, in the road, in parks, in your house, in your car, the lighting is everywhere. So we are really comfortable, and we have the right, but also the duty, to be sure that we make this impact everywhere the lighting is present. For this reason, and this was something that was crystal clear since the beginning, that sustainability could not be just one element of the strategy, could not be a chapter of the company strategy. And this is also my recommendation to everybody, small, medium, or big companies or corporation. Sustainability cannot be an office located somewhere just to say that you are taking care of sustainability. Sustainability should be your purpose, should be in the purpose of the company. This is what we did. And we totally changed the purpose of the company, and we updated and adapted the purpose of the company, moving into unlock the extraordinary potential of light for brighter lives and a better world. It means that everybody in this company has in mind that wherever you are, whatever you are doing, if you are a salesperson, a marketing person, you work in the logistic, in supply chain in general, in finance, whatever you do, your purpose should be there. Your purpose is to unlock the extraordinary potential of light. And for this reason, everybody is committed to deliver this in his mission and in his daily activity. This major change of strategy, I say this major change of the way in which we designed our strategy all around the sustainability, also imposed also a link to the way in which we deliver, in which we share the strategy with our investors, being a public company, with our people. We have more than 30,000 people all around the world, and with our customer. Because for a commercial company, the customer remains central. But also, of your, you see here what the strategy, the new visual of the strategy, because it should be easy. Everybody understand advantage. And sustainability, as mentioned before, it's not like another circle of this one, but has been embedded into the growth. So we see the message that we want to deliver here is that we see that the sustainability comes from the growth, and the growth can only come from the sustainability. So we see that in the future, in the next 5 years, but starting from this year as well, our growth will be linked only to sustainable initiatives, growth initiatives, linked to climate action, linked to circular economy, food availability, safety and security, and health and well-being. On top of this, the other elements that we put together in the strategy, I said we have the customer central in our strategy, but what you see here in the external circle is we have the ambition to become a great place to work. So you look at people working with you, working in your company, and we decided for this year to focus all our attention on diversity and inclusion, because we really think that we can have a huge impact in our organization if we work closely with something that is visible to everybody. And I think that the diversity and inclusion is really spot on, is really something that we can do to have an impact in our organization. As mentioned, you can everybody, it should be understood by everybody. The company also invested a lot of time and effort in training people about this. Not only, sharing in a PowerPoint or in a nice leaflet or brochure that you can find next to the coffee machine. That's not enough. What you need to do has to be sure that everybody embrace this change, that everybody is committed, understand, and also give his added value. Because the initiatives are good, but if there is if you don't see the support of everybody in the end-to-end process, you will not be there. The 2020 carbon neutrality has been achieved because everybody was working in the same direction. The Brighter Lives, Better World, as I mentioned, is linked to the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. In this way, it's easier for us also to talk with institutions, public and private institutions, to influence them, to team up both in the consumer and in professional environment. And Brighter Lives, because one of the questions like, Mario, why Brighter Lives and Better World? Because Better World has in mind the globe, has in mind the place in which we are hosted, where we live every day, and that we need to preserve, and we need to act now. I'm sure about this. Climate action and circular economy is the way in which we think we can work and we can make our impact and give our contribution for a better world. But another element is also related to people. So the inhabitants of this world, the people living and working every day in our world. And so Brighter Lives goes straight to what we are talking. It's linked to people, linked to the diversity and inclusion that I mentioned before, linked to food availability, linked to safety and security, and linked to the health and well-being of people. But then I will try to give you some example, because otherwise this looks like a strategy and it's too high, looks like an helicopter, but when we say double the pace of Paris Agreement. So what we said is that with what we are doing with all the different activities and action that we put in place, we want to achieve 6 years early the target of the Paris Agreement. So reduce the CO2 emission faster than expected in 2025. So in 5 years from now, we want to achieve what we are supposed to achieve in a much longer time frame. Just an example, what you see here on the right, it's a luminaire, it's a road and street luminaire, something that you can find in your car or in a this one specifically is here is that this is all the case where there's no power grid. Actually, this total there is a panel about control, and there is also to optimize the use of light. In this way, we can prevent the construction activities that required in order to extend the power grid in this area, but also we can reduce the CO2 emission, actually, because you don't need electricity. The only thing that you need, especially at this latitude, in this geographical area, is only the sun. And with sun, you can deliver sufficient light to operate a luminaire for 365 days per year. Okay, but Mario, we are in Greece. Can we do it also in Greece? Yes, we can. Yes, we can do it in Greece. We have already experienced this. There is an area in Greece, an island, a remote island called Lipsi, where those luminaires are working. And because there was no power grid, because the sun, it's shining in Greece all the year. So there was no need to have a power grid in place. There was no need to waste electricity. There was just a need to find the right recipe to make it happen. So thanks to the local community, thanks to this product, we put it together, and now you have in Lipsi the light coming directly from the sun, thanks to a solar panel. And this is something that we are supposed to roll out globally. It's present in Spain, it's present in Greece, but it's also present in different other locations all around the world. Except make myself available in the networking phase, but also after this, feel free to reach out to me, because I really feel comfortable sharing which are the things that you can do as a company that we did, so everybody can do, in order to reach the carbon neutrality and reduce the emission. Here, this is the case of circular revenues. The circular revenues for us, it's something which is directly linked to the way we use components, we manufacture components. We started a very nice journey, a very difficult journey, because it was a little bit earlier than expected in the business to manufacture components and finished products in 3D printing. It means that you can manufacture just in time, just one single piece or two pieces, whatever it is needed in the location where it is needed. So you don't need to manufacture in China and ship to Europe, or vice versa. You don't need to manufacture in Europe and ship to China. You can simply, manufacture where it is needed. This is reality. We are manufacturing products and components of our products in 3D printing, reducing the lead time, and this is a business advantage, but also customizing the products and customizing the location in which we manufacture our products. It's about what we can do for people. As I said, I want to focus on one element here today, having just half an hour of speech. And I think that we can really influence the way in which we live, also looking at what we do, where we live every day, where we work, our work environment. If our efficiency and the feeling, the wellness in our work environment is much better than before, we are more productive, we can work better, we feel even better. And this is like a qualitative element. It's not very easy to find a KPI for this, but this is related to quality. And there is only, and I will give back the floor to you. The lighting, as I mentioned before, this was something that I was saying during the presentation. The lighting is available everywhere. It is influencing our life in every single moment of our professional and private life. But the light, it's also something that can influence the food production. You can imagine that today we have greenhouses or vertical farms. So this kind of big containers in the middle of nowhere, or maybe in downtown in the city, which are operating.
Thank you very much, Mario. Apologies about some technical issues with your connection we encountered. We're going to take now a short break for the next 15 minutes, and we will be back with Nestlé's circular economy strategy. Thank you very much.